Hey there, this is Sylvia Scott, author, speaker, and coach. So, I was having a really great conversation today with a friend of mine, another very powerful speaker. And at the end of the conversation, we were like, oh man, we should have recorded that. So, we both decided to give our perspective on the conversation. And I wanted to share that with you today in light of everything that's going on throughout the world in regards to COVID. So, one of the things that came from that conversation was the realization that this experience, there's only two ways to really look at it, depending on your perspective and approach to life. So, for many people, it's either a negative or a positive. And one thing that I feel confident about is that when experiences like this happen, they produce major change. And we're either going to go along with the change or we're going to resist the change, depending on your perspective on things. So, for some people, this whole experience has meant, oh my God, I can't believe I'm confined to my home. What am I going to do? For other people, it's an opportunity to go within. And so the perspective that I tend to lean toward is an opportunity to go within. And just to give you a little background, one of the things that I've realized about the whole experience of COVID is that for many people, this is the first time in their life where they are confined to a space where they don't have the ability to interact with people face to face. And it is kind of the confinement has kind of forced them to really have to be with themselves because they have no other choice. And so for many people, this is the first time they've actually had to be with themselves, and they're confronted with the whole idea of, do I like myself or not? Do I, for the first time in their life, they have to be with themselves, and it's forcing them to ask that question and to examine whether or not they like their own company and whether or not they can really face different parts of themselves that they didn't have to face before. Because let's face it, in our day-to-day interactions of living, we're constantly around people. So we're being externally stimulated by things or by other people. And so now that we're forced into confinement, we are confined with ourselves, with our own company. So given the set of circumstances, you're either going to say to yourself, listen, I'm not liking what I'm seeing, and it's very hard for me to be alone and to have to self-adjust, self-entertain, self-examine, and be with self. Or you can look at it from the perspective of, you know what? This is forcing me to be inside, and now I'm faced with the opportunity to go within, look at my own stuff, self-entertain, self-analyze, and to really look at whether or not you like your own company. How about that? So I'm laughing about it because these are the questions that I've had to face for myself. And I find that as a social introvert, that I've had to lean both ways. So I've learned about myself that, yes, I now need to face those parts of myself that I've been running away from, and that I do enjoy the company of other people. So it's making me appreciate that face-to-face interaction. So I don't know what it is for you, but I'm interested in hearing your response and what the emotional, internal um, self-reflection that has resulted as a result of this whole experience of dealing with being confined at home. So again, you can either take it for what it is and say, I'm going to resist, or you can use it as a time to really go within and deal with your own stuff. And in dealing with your own stuff, it doesn't necessarily have to be negative. It can be an opportunity for you to finally go to your bucket list and actually do some of the things on your bucket list that are more internal or goal oriented. So perhaps you wanted to become a person who's more disciplined, or perhaps you wanted to be a person who starts your own business. You can begin the paperwork for starting that business right now. So it's all about perspective, and I'm interested in finding out your perspective. So let me know your thoughts.